solar humans, right? And it's like, well, to get there, I think the biggest fucking issue, besides the ego, which obviously is the biggest issue, but beyond that is a lack of emotional regulation, like across the board. Nobody knows how to regulate their emotions. Nobody, myself included, by the way. Nobody knows how.
Both of us.
Like Hope's got at least like she's got fucking stacked with Scorpio, so like. She's ahead of the game here, but like it's hard, and that is what is killing.
I know. I think
us as a society.
Someone must have slipped me a cheat code or something, because I feel like that's why I came in with the chart that I did. Someone glitched the matrix for me or something. Was like, here, do this, because I agree, and I felt into that a lot with what Ra and Richard Rudd have said about this, and it being the changing of the centers or the chakras, and being a solar plexus being all based in emotion and natural intuition that comes from emotions. And while you were saying that, you know, we obviously, people struggle to understand why, and we do too a lot of times, why mom had the life that she did. Right. And people want to know what's the difference between mom and someone that we see that has ego, including ourselves. Was mom's emotional regulation. She could move on, transform. It didn't mean she didn't go through trauma that she constantly had to cycle through for herself and the collective work she was doing. But that the lack of emotional work that we have been taught to do as a collective is what mom came down here to take on. The pain and suffering and what all those frequencies are is just buried emotion that we as a collective refuse to face. And a lot of it mom knew, which is why when she comes back, she's ultimate forgiveness, is that she knows that a lot of it's in our DNA. All of it's passed from our parents, that we get wiped when we get reincarnated, and we don't remember jack shit from all the other lifetimes unless you're someone that is gifted or, you know, and there's exceptions to that, but most people are completely wiped, don't remember anything, don't remember 5D and the galactics and the other realms and dimensions.
And then you're constantly battling low frequencies and pain and suffering and no joy and fight or flight. And so it's like, we've literally been put into hell, and then it's like, how do you function? How do you function as you can't.
And nobody is taught about emotions and what to process. You don't learn that in school when you're indoctrinated. No. You don't learn that from your parents, because our parents didn't know. Nobody's fault. Nobody was trained this way, and that's why we continue these issues. And I feel it's the most unaddressed thing that causes all issues in human relationships and on this planet. And why we're so out of touch with the planet is because we're so numb. We don't feel our emotional connection to Mother Earth. And actually if we actually felt the pain of the planet and actually connected to how much Mother Earth is hurting, we wouldn't be doing what we continue to do as a society.
And I guess that's what it comes down to at the end of the day, is that like humanity feels so much pain that's why we're so numb or so forcefully disconnected. Because in order to even get to the point of being able to feel joy or love or happiness or like any of those higher emotions, you first are faced with all the pain. And that is exactly what mom took on. And now the hard part is that, like, I think we all have to feel the pain first. That's what makes sense, right? In order to, like, get to the higher emotions. But it's going to be a fucking long haul.
Yeah, and I feel like that's also, like, it's just a mirror. What we're going to have to go through internally is what mom experienced externally. And that level of pain that, and that's going to come with some type of realization of not only what we've done to this planet, but that we constantly go against universal law. And no matter what you think the creator is, how we behave as a collective is not mirrored in any image of God. It doesn't mean that there are certain rules that God upholds to, but the way that as a society we judge each other, there's violence, we can't get along, like what's going on in the Middle East, like those things. No matter who your God is, everybody should realize, like, God doesn't want us killing each other. And why? Why are we doing this as a collective? So it's something that I feel we have to face. And the biggest thing is that we've came in hurt, we came in broken, we came in confused, forgetting where we came from, and we all our entire lives were searching for what we're looking to be reconnected to, and in that process we tend to end up hurting others and repeating cycles, and we have to take accountability for all of that. That's what Mom did too. So I feel like the biggest thing that's going to come to this collective and what we need is an emotional release. And there's going to be anger, and that's a given. But all of what it is deep down is just sadness. It's just going to be a fuck ton of sadness because we've been so disconnected from the truth for so long, and we're going to feel sad about things. So, especially Mom, if, you know.
No, absolutely.
If she's who she says she is, people are going to feel that.
Yeah, and I think that's, disclosure, in general, of just like I was listening to someone the other day on TikTok that it almost made a little bit of sense to me where obviously we know like they've been trying to prevent disclosure for so long to like label it conspiracy theory, this, that, the other, and someone was like, have you noticed that like a lot of it's starting to come out now? But they were like, the dark is dumb, but they also are smart in some ways, and they were like, what if their theory was like, what if they've been blocking the disclosure for so long and now they're kind of like, well, fuck it, we're going to dump it all at one time to like lower the vibration. Whereas like, again, Mom's vision in the beginning, when she first started this whole fucking thing, her vision and her idea was it needed to be a slow and smooth transition. Like, in her brain, she was like, yeah, like, people are gonna wake up, we're gonna start doing this together, it's gonna be this slow, smooth transition. And now it's all been backlogged.
Right, it's been, like, stuck, like a stuck drain pipe.
And, yeah, like a stuck, exactly. And it's like
a hairball in the
we've all been screaming for disclosure for so long in a way because we knew, like, the Band-Aid needed to be ripped off. And it needed to be ripped off one by one. And now they've backlogged this bitch so much. But at the same time, humanity has to take accountability for that. Because
it's a mirror.
It's a mirror of their consciousness. They didn't want the fucking truth. But now what's going to happen when you rip 10 Band-Aids off at once? That's painful, bro. That is painful. Yeah.